We call the meeting of the Mecklenburg County Planning Commission to order. Please stand with me as we say the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now go into public hearing. First item on our agenda tonight is the Mecklenburg County Planning Commission has received an application by Paul Jackson for a special exception permit to construct a recreational vehicle park consisting of 117 sites. This property is zoned agriculture, is located on the north side of Highway 600 Bailey Drive, approximately 1/10 mile east of its intersection with Huss Road. This is in Electric District 8. Is there anyone here to speak for this application? Would you like to speak for this application, Mr. Nash?
I've come just in case as far as representing the survey part of it. For those who don't know who is this, for those who don't know who I am, I'm Jamie Nash with Crutchfield and Associates Land Surveyors in Chase City. We're the ones that prepared the preliminary plan for you to look at it. I'm just here if there are any questions as far as surveying goes that you need to have answered. And the one comment that I would make, I have information sent. Of course, VDOT has sent information to, they sent it to Robert and to me about the entrance that's got to be put there. There's going to have to be a commercial entrance put in. We're working on that. I've got information sent to Summit Engineering in South Boston. The VDOT is going to require an entrance there, and we have to show proof whether that entrance has to have a turning lane with it or if it can just be a tapered entrance. That is beyond the scope of what I do at Crutchfield Associates. That's an engineering and a traffic design. So I have sent that information to Summit Engineering in South Boston. They are in the process of working up. They've got to do their own study to see whether, the big question is not so much the entrance, it's whether that entrance is going to have a turning lane with it. That's going to be a product of the number of vehicles that use the road and the speed limit along the road. So I do know, I can add that I do not have an entrance shown here. There is going to have to be a commercial entrance put there. What I'm waiting to hear from is it going to have to be designed with a turning lane or if it's just a taper, a normal taper. That's really the only thing that I can add. If anybody has got any questions, I'll be glad to answer anything as far as the surveying goes.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Is there anyone else here to speak for this application? Okay. Anyone here to speak against this application? Do we have?
No telephone calls and no emails.
Okay.
And no letters.
And no letters.
Robert, with this, kind of waiting on to see about the interest and all, I mean, we still can go forward before that?
You can go forward and they would have to meet, I think it's one of the conditions, they've got to meet the VDOT requirements for the entrance as well as the health department.
Has Mr. Jackson got the other requirements here?
Well, he's got several conditions there that he's got to follow through and then meet those conditions in order to open it. Yes.
To follow up on his question, he's got the original 17 plus.
No, he doesn't have the original, conditions with
Does,
it.
does he have the 42
No.
conditions?
He doesn't have.
Does he need that before we go forward?
I mean, I can give him a copy of it, he really doesn't need to. I can give him a copy of it.
We approve it, he just has to follow it.
Right.
Has there been any discussion of reducing the size of it from 117 to 72?
Not with the applicant, no. I mean, that's a recommendation that y'all can discuss among yourselves and decide.
And it also has the ENS and all that in there that has to be done.
Erosion and sediment control and stormwater will have to be, engineered and submitted for approval because there's over 5 acres of land disturbance.
This is just at the beginning for him.
Yes. And not to say, once that is submitted, that, there's a possibility he can lose some sites. It all depends on when the lay of the land, the engineering, design, what you gotta have, what you don't have to have, and everything else.
Talking about the 100 through 117, the 1 through 72.
It's hard to say. I can't remember how the land lays. I mean, once the engineer gets out there and start doing that topo work and 100-year storm analysis, then they'll know where everything goes.
There was some discussion at the very beginning about, with this gentleman, about the VDOT, the entrance. I guess the size of it wouldn't have it there, and you still got to have the same type of entrance regardless of how many lots of that.
Yes, sir. Because the VDOT requirement is commercial, operation.
Do I hear any other discussion?
Mr. Jackson doesn't know there are 42 conditions.
Yes, sir.
Possible conditions, okay.
Does the commission think that he should be aware of the conditions?
I would think so.
Okay.
If it was me, I would want to know what the conditions are before. 'Cause I mean, it could change my mind.
Yeah, that's good. So you said yes.
Yeah.
You think he should?
I think he should. I think he should have.
I think so too. So. What do you think with the fair? Oh, is that him?
Mr. Chairman, could it possible we go to the next one and while he reviews those and then come back?
But you can table it.
We could table it to the next meeting,
Or you can defer
Or you
it.
so he can study.
You can defer it.
Yeah, defer it to the
Defer
next,
it to the next
next
meeting.
meeting.
Or we could go to the second application.
I think we need to probably defer it to the next meeting to give him time to look over these conditions and maybe possibly get some of these other issues resolved as far as the entrance and all of that goes.
I mean, do you want to speak to him about it? If that's him? Is that him right there?
Yeah. I would ask him, does he want to speak about it?
Mr. Jackson, would you like to say anything about any of this? Or,
I would like to say that we have a 48-foot covered pipe under that driveway that's in question. The traffic that goes into the mobile home park, most of them use the lower driveway, but like I said, we already have a commercial width, and it's already asphalted, and the speed limit is 40 through there. So they have to do a survey to see, if somebody coming out of Chase City would have, time to see a RV or whatever pulling in, I guess.
right.
But,
Would you like more time to look over some of these stipulations that we're considering before we? Before we vote on this?
whatever the requirements are, I'm gonna comply with it. So,
Okay. I guess that answers the
That's
I
his
appreciate
fine.
it if you guys would
it's nothing.
give us a chance.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, it's Robert, he would have to meet all these requirements before a permit would be issued, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, then, Mr. Chairman, it's in my district, I'll make a motion that we approve the application with all these things being met before getting a permit.
All 42 of these stipulations?
Would you like to read all 42 of them.
No, sir.
He's got a copy.
We can attach a list.
Mr. Jackson read them a whole lot quicker than I could.
We'll attach a list to the motion.
To be correct, should not they be read?
Supposed to be.
I'll read.
Okay, go for it.
The site would provide more opportunities for the short-term construction workers in the county. The owner shall submit an erosion and sediment control plan for approval prior to construction. The owner shall submit a stormwater plan to DEQ for prior to construction. The owner shall post a bond for all infrastructure construction to include the erosion and sediment control and stormwater management. Any areas that is visible to the public shall be screened. No accessory structures shall be constructed on the individual sites. The owner shall meet all VDOT requirements within the assessed management design standard regulations. No site shall be offered for sale. The owner will be responsible for maintaining the road in safe and passable manner. Any mud, debris.
What about these over here?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get back to those. I'll go to those now. How's that?
Yeah.
All right, no site shall be leased as a permanent site to an individual. The owner of the site shall provide rental records with the lot numbers to the zoning director yearly. All sites shall be permitted, permanently numbered and visible from the road. If the owner cannot meet all VDOT regulations and the health and department regulations, the application will be void. The owner will be responsible for obtaining the county land permit prior to construction. The owner shall submit a landscape plan to the zoning director for approval. All recreational vehicles shall have a minimum of 15 feet clearance between them, minimum of 50 feet, and the roads shall be gravel. The gravel placement on the road shall consist of a base of 2 inches of railroad rock and 4 inches of crush and run. The owner shall be responsible for contacting the zoning director for road inspections as follows. Number 1, after grading of the road. Number 2, after the 2 inches of railroad rock have been spread. Number 3, after the 4 inches of crush and run have been spread. The owner shall be responsible for maintaining the road safe and passable manner. Any mud or debris or damage to the roadway shall be removed and repaired by the owner immediately. The permittee shall not use the property in any manner that creates a nuisance or disturbance to nearby property owners in their enjoyment of their property. Each site shall be at least 20 feet wide and a total of 2,000 square feet. Park rules shall be posted at the entrance and enforced by the owner. No space will be allowed to obtain their own address or mailbox. The owner shall enforce quiet hours for the park from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. to ensure excessive noise, amplified music, or other disturbances cannot be heard outside of the parameters of the user's campsite. The owner or his or her designee shall be readily available to ensure park rules are not violated and respond to any concerns from RV park renters or neighbors. The owner or designee contact information shall be posted at the RV park entrance and provided to the Mecklenburg County 911 Dispatch Center. A map of the RV park with identifying lot numbers shall be provided to the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department, Chase City Fire Department, Chase City Rescue Squad, and Mecklenburg County zoning prior to commencing operations. The use of generators in the park is prohibited unless for unforeseen circumstances of power outage. Commercial garbage from the park shall be disposed of at the Southside Regional Landfill. The use of any county collection centers for disposal is prohibited. All lighting shall be installed as not to disturb the surrounding property owners or the roadway. No decks or porches shall be built onto any of the sites. The owner is responsible for the appearance of the site, including litter pickup and other orderly site appearance. The owner shall not use the property in any manner that creates nuisance. I think we did that one. Nuisance or disturbance nearby property owners in the quiet enjoyment of their property. The owner shall obtain and maintain an adequate amount of liability insurance to cover operations of the RV park. Nothing herein shall prevent the owner from obtaining additional liability insurance as they deem appropriate. Certification of coverage shall be submitted to the Mecklenburg County Zoning Office. The owner shall contact the county zoning office for a conditions compliance inspection prior to commencing operations. If for any reason Jackson RV Park stops operation for more than 1 year, this special exception permit becomes null and void. The permit is non-transferable except and unless written notice from the owner regarding the transfer and signed statement from the proposed new owner is received by the county planning and zoning office and approved by the Mecklenburg County Board of Supervisors. The owner shall agree to comply with all the terms and conditions imposed with the original owner. If the proposed new owner desires to amend the original permit conditions, amendments must be addressed by the Mecklenburg County Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors through the exception permit public hearing process. This permit shall become null and void if Mr. Jackson RV Park operation is not commenced within 18 months of pursuant with the issuance. Failure of the owner to fully comply to all terms and conditions of this permit shall result in revocation of the special exception permit. Do you agree with adding all of that? I'm sorry. Too many pages. The owner shall provide each RV camper site with the following: proper water and sewage hookup from an approved water source and sewage disposal system. Number 2, electricity. Number 3, one space for vehicle parking in addition to living unit. All campfires shall be confined within a fire ring and always supervised. The burning of products such as trash and plastics products or household items is prohibited. Are you in agreement with adding all those to your
Mr. Jackson, you okay with that?
motion?
Yes, sir, I don't think these give me all the ones that I already agreed on all of them. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, that motion's been made with all of those conditions. Is there a second?
Second.
Second? All those in favor? Let's do a roll, please.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Ms. Dennis,
Yes.
Ms. Rattle,
Yes.
Mr. Watson,
Yes.
Mr. Crump,
Yes.
Mr. Brinkley,
Yes.
Mr. Warren,
Yes.
Mr. Corker,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Next item on our agenda tonight is Mecklenburg County has received an application by Thomas and Dominique Pinion and David Vestal for a special exception permit to allow for children's outdoor adventures and weddings. This property is zoned agriculture, is located on the north side of Highway 688 Skipper Road, approximately 1 mile west of its intersection with Route 798 Moores Drive. Is there anyone here to speak for this application? Please come forward and state your name, sir.
Name's Thomas Finion. Evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll introduce my daughter Dominique and my son-in-law David. We on Skipworth Road, we have 26 acres of land. We've owned it now for about 7 or 8 years. Been coming up here on holiday for about the last 10 years. And it was my late wife's love of children and the outdoors that sort of prompted this. And with us coming here, not really having a lot of activities for the children to do. I mean, we have the lake, obviously, with all its activities, but while the husband is obviously fishing and hunting, often the wife is sitting at home or in the house that they're renting with the kids looking for something to do. And if you go on site, on most of the sites around here, and you look for something to do with children, it comes up with the ice cream parlor and 1 or 2 other things, and that's about it. So that was a big determining factor of a dream that we wanted to start here, and that's why we located here. The other thing was the more and more children spending more and more time on their computers, their tablets, less and less times on the great outdoors, and how we all grew up as kids. So it was a combination of those 2 things that's brought this about. So as I said, we're down Skipworth Road. We've got 26 acres. We're planning to use about 1 acre of the land in this play area. So what we have is an area dedicated to the toddlers. So everything inside there is basically for up to about 5, 6 year olds from when they first start. So there are sand pits, there are ball pits, there's areas for them to climb, there's swings, there's forts, there's activity walls. Activity walls, I'm talking about chalkboards, kitchens that they can play in, gravity where you put a ball into pipes and you watch the gravity come down in sand and things like that. There's play areas for them to play inside there as well. It's all very secure. It's situated about 50, 60 feet off the roadway. It's completely fenced in. We have parking on site. We have a 32-foot culvert that's VDOT approved and everything. We have parking for about 20 cars in the end of it. We don't expect to need any more than that. I'd love to, but we'll see what happens. The ablutions at the moment, the restrooms will be a porta potty set up, and same as a grey water dispersal. And if we see how the business goes and what it does, then we'll take it to the next level of seeing what we need to do in the way of water and waste. So it's an interim period just to see when we start. What else can I tell you? Basically, we believe in repurposing and reusing as much as we can. So a lot of the things we've got, we're using a lot of pallets that were donated to us from Virginia Homes. Don, that runs the second-hand place down, if you're going to South Boston, we get a lot of stuff from him as well that he's not using. We've used a lot of old timbers, anything that people throw away, old bicycle wheels, anything. I'll turn it into art and put it in there to try and have as low impact as possible in the area and teach people that you can actually, use a lot of the stuff that we just generally throw away. As we said, the idea is a party venue. So we've got a party set up for the toddlers area. So next to the toddlers area, we have a place for tables and chairs, a bouncing castle. It's a little bit off from where they play, so it's a private area. We have the same in the slightly older kids, because we go up to about 13 years old in the types of stuff that we've got for the kids to do. So we have 2 different party venues. We have an office cum shed in the middle of that, and a seating area in front of that. What else can I say? What else have we got there? For the small kids, I said we've got the toddlers. For the older kids, we have an obstacle course. We have a Nerf gun, little fort set up. You know what Nerf guns are, these things that shoot these plastic foam bullets that the kids seem to love. We have a low rope course, low rope being basically from 4 foot down. So it's very low impact, low drop. Safety obviously being and a high level of concern. It's all under the trees, so it's shaded. It's very, very pretty. It's very quiet. It's very much in nature and part of nature. What else can I? We'll be putting in a 9-hole mini golf course. So we're trying to sort of make it into a family affair where we can come bring a picnic, sit down, enjoy a couple of hours with nature, and the kids can get pushed in what they do and how we usually grew up. There's a big problem at the moment. A lot of the people will tell you in the schools and with children that they're not getting the development of mind and body in outdoor things, what they call adding stimulation and challenging play, interaction of children. So it's along those lines. So yes, it's a commercial venture. I'm a businessman. I'm here to make money. But at the same time, I think we can provide a gap in what the community needs in this area and add something from a tourist point of view as well for people coming here. It's just another thing that they can come and enjoy. We support local businesses, so all our T-shirts and everything have been made through the guys in Clarksville, East Coast Embroidery. We belong to Chamber of Commerce. So, yeah, we're trying to sort of get involved. We're new here. We've only been here a year. So we're trying to get involved in what's happening. Can't think of anything else.
Okay. All right. And hours, what are your hours, kind of?
Daylight hours. We're opening at about 9, 10 o'clock, around about there, 9 o'clock. And basically we want people off the farm before sunset. So we've got, I can't remember exactly what it is, but during winter, obviously, and it's slightly earlier, and during summer, it's a little bit longer. We're obviously expecting summer holidays to be our sort of busy time. But no, I don't want anybody on the land or anything. From a safety point of view, once before dark, twilight, that's it, everybody off.
Okay.
And from a noise point of view as well. I mean, kids like to shout.
Out there, I think they'd be pretty safe. Not too much going on there.
No, there's not much. As I said, it's completely fenced off. The fencing is different as well. It's all old-fashioned type of fencing. It's not a cage fencing with like a cattle run. It's all what we used to do fencing years ago on farms, basically using all the timber we had. I had a lot of cedar, and so in thinning out the forests, we had a lot of cedar, quite a bit of pine, obviously, but a lot of cedar. So most of the things are built out of cedar, the forts, the fencing, and all that sort of stuff. It's all as natural as possible.
Okay. Sounds good.
I got a question. It says your project is children's outdoor adventures and weddings. What about the weddings?
It's something I would like to have a look at further on, is a wedding venue, because it is very pretty. We have joint ownership with the pond and our neighbors next door. I would like to do, if this works out, I would like to do the second thing where we're doing weddings for about 30, 40, 50 people, small parties, very private, people with the same sort of outlook. It's a nature venue, not a high party, not a high party venue. It's people that enjoy nature, the outdoors. We've got the forest, we've got the stream that runs at the bottom, we've got the joint pond next door. So it's pretty. It's very photogenic, let's put it that way.
On the application, the partial size, you said it's 26 acres, but proposed use is just 1 acre.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the initial is 1 acre. It's actually about 0.75 or something, but it's, close enough. It's situated basically in the middle of the property because we've got about 2,000 foot of road frontage, and it's about halfway down on a very straight section of the road.
I see you, focusing on the kids and stuff. Now, with those kids, will they have to be accompanied by a parent or an adult
Yes.
all the time? I mean, nobody come by and drop off 4 kids.
No, you can't just drop them off. The only time we will do drop off is we also looking at doing craft lessons, mosaic and painting and pottery, and got artists in the family. So, and hopefully we'll find some other people around that will want to do it, so we can provide them a venue where 10 or 12 kids can come in, and you've got 2 lecturers, if you want to call it that, or helpers, and we can show them how to paint, do pottery, and all sorts of little craft things that they do, where mom can drop the kids off for like 3 hours on a Saturday morning or something like that, and during the school holidays.
Okay.
But otherwise, yes, the parents, to answer the question, so yes, the parents are in charge of their children. We are not in charge of the children from a safety point of view.
You babysitting, you might have all the kids you want.
I had one, that was enough, it cured me. As I said, my wife was a lover of people and children. I think Wordsworth said the best thing, I love children, medium rare.
Are you charging for this?
Sorry, sir?
Do you charge for? would it
Yes.
be a mission? Okay.
Yes, as I said, it's a commercial venture.
Okay.
Saying that, we will put in to the community. You know, we have spoken to the Y, for instance, we've spoken to the children's group that runs on Facebook. We're well aware that there's a lot of need in the area for help to families that need help. And yeah, we'll get guidance from some of the people that helped them originally. So we'll play that a little bit by ear, but we're well aware of giving back to the community.
During the hours of operation, there's always be somebody there.
Yes, one of us are always down there because one of us will also always have a first aid certificate as well. So we'll have a first aider there because we have a play area that's outside in the in the forest. You are going to get bitten by something. That's going to happen. People are going to fall. That's going to happen. You know, that was part of our life when we grew up. So we need to be able to address that definitely.
Any other discussion? Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Is there anyone else here to speak for this application? Is there anyone here to speak against this application? We had one
I have one letter, one email.
letter for and one letter against.
Yep, that's it.
Everybody read those? Okay. Any other discussion? All right, do I hear a motion on this application?
I recommend we approve.
Okay,
The reasons why the county has approved this type of applications in the past will not be detrimental to public welfare, will not affect adversely the health or safety of persons or the neighborhood of the proposed use. Number of attendants shall be no more than 50 people. Must contact VDOT to obtain permits and approval for a driveway entrance. Hours of operation shall be as follows. Summer hours will be from 9 to 8. Fall and spring hours will be from 9 to 6.
motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We now go,
Thank you very much,
now go into closed public hearing. Approval of the January 26th.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the minutes of January 26th, 2023.
Okay, motion's been made to approve those minutes from January 26, 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Mr. Administrator, whenever you are so ready.
All right. Get back there to it. Everybody should have a copy of the zoning report, building report. Any questions on those? Of course, our permit numbers are up again.
Very good.
The erosion sediment control is up. I do have a new inspector, started February 1st. His name is Josh Tanner, stole him from VDOT.
You sure did.
So
My office, matter of fact.
he's had some, I think, exposure to it because I've taken him out on sites and I pretty much let him just do it. And he comes back and tells me what he thinks and.
So you have 3 now in your office?
Mhm.
Good.
So,
Very good.
just gotta get him certified so I can turn him loose.
All right.
And that should be coming up in April.
Okay.
What's
His
his
name is Josh
Josh Tanner.
Justin.
Tanner.
And at the board meeting, I know David had talked to the board members about a cap on the total acreage for solar, to bring back to you all tonight. And what we have now, I forgot with Grasshopper, they resubmitted, and then resubmitted again on all 3 different sizes of the facility. So actually, Grasshopper is at 913 acres. There are 593 acres unsold. So if you count Bluestone, Grasshopper, and Otter Creek, and if Finneywood and Seven Bridges get approved, we will have 2,223.53 acres unsold. And that would be a total of 5,252.65 acres of land. And I think David discussed that they were talking about a total acreage on the panel, and that would be it.
Okay.
That is for y'all to discuss. And
I think that's where we were at last time was a total acreage on the panels. Is that kind of what everybody was saying, what we talked about before?
So we get to, if the other two were to get approved, it would be 2,223 acres.
Right.
Under panels.
if Finneywood and Southern Bridges was to get approved, it would be 2,223.53 acres on the panel.
Okay. Can you give me that number one more time?
23.53 on the panels.
Okay.
Do we want to recommend 2,300 acres under panels to the board? What y'all's thought?
I know we had talked about something in that range, up to 2,500, but, you know, whatever. Somewhere in that range, I think would be appropriate.
I think the board is just kind of waiting on whatever we decide to make that decision.
Okay. Is 2,300 total acreage somewhat in agreement with everyone? Did we kind of move forward? And
We have other candidates. What are other candidates doing?
Let's see, I got it here somewhere.
I pulled up Charlotte County.
Charlotte County
Well,
is they got hit 3% of the density. Halifax is 5%. Rockingham is a capped at 1,800 acres, 0.33 of total acreage for large solar, and 50 acres for certain districts, limited to 150 acres per site. Brunswick County is a max of 8,600 acres allowed, which equals 2.6% of total acres.
8,600 acres under panel?
It just says max of 8,600 acres. Halifax is doing, I think, 5%. Yeah, 5%. And then they got land like a 5-mile radius of the project area existing to a large-scale solar facility. That's pretty much the surrounding counties.
And this would still, even if we put this limit on there, it would still not limit individual landowners as far as if.
The only thing this is gonna affect would be your community solar, small-scale solar, and large-scale solar.
Right, so if the average homeowner wanted to put a couple panels in his backyard, it doesn't affect him at all.
And it does not affect the industrial side of it, because on the industrial side, if they put it on their property for their use, then they can still do it.
Okay.
I agree with what you saying, 25, that would give us a couple more acres for small,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it would give us just a little bit for small
It's gonna
farm.
cut them big ones, dude.
Yeah, we cut the big ones down.
Yeah. Is 25 sound kind of where we want to go? All right, Robert, can you get with our county attorney and,
What I do is I will, look at what part of the Article 20 needs to go under, I'll type it up and I'll send it to him to review,
okay,
and I'll go from there.
all right.
I got one more question. On the last meeting, you showed one particular solar farm with the panels going every which way. what has transpired since the last meeting?
I was hoping to go back out to do an inspection. They called and canceled, so I haven't been able to make it back out that direction.
I went by there the other
But
day.
I can
The other
almost
day, and there
guarantee
was-
they haven't
Some of
changed.
them were still, some of them were still the other way. You got some, the sun's like here, or over here rather,
And they're facing
and
that
they're
way.
facing this way. Some are facing straight up, some are facing this way. It's still that way.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is.
And also that's the same one regarding, a cover for it. They showed little plants about a foot high.
Now, those plants were at a site out of state that I go by.
Okay.
But it's some very similar to grasshopper.
I haven't been to Grasshopper lately. I'm going back up there. So I don't know. I know they planted. I asked them to plant. They planted. I think some has died, and they tried to replace it with the same stuff, and they couldn't get it. So I think they went with a different type of vegetation.
If they're gonna do it, now's the time in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Now's the time, of course, when it's 83 degrees, you can't call it wintertime. But in February, normally, if you wanna plant something in the ground, you better do it December, January, February.
Right. But yeah, and I hate to say it, but the site that was out of state, I went by it today, and I was a little disappointed because they had some panels that were the wrong direction too. So I don't know. I don't know what the issue is with it. 'Cause like I said, the pictures I showed y'all.
Right.
I mean,
It was the same way when I went back.
so,
And, this one that, on, RV park for camping, Red Oak site, what was your comment on that?
I haven't received an application.
Okay. I guess most everybody, for those who didn't get a local paper, I cut it out if you'd like to read it. But this is for camping, not staying, like the one we just approved. If you hadn't read it, there it is.
I think one of the questions we brought up the last time somebody did, I thought, was, and I asked Russell about it, was the 5 mile radius we put around Chase City and then doing this. Russell said we should leave it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't
take it out.
Don't take it out.
right.
Yeah, I think that's what we had talked about before. All right, well, if you can get that, do we have, something?
Got a meeting for next month, yes.
All right. All right. Any other questions, any other discussion? Do I hear a motion, we adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, get up and run out.